Paxton, my first question for you is, you're getting ready to head off to probably Wisconsin somewhere with the
Mhm.
Wisconsin Timber Rattlers because they were the high A team of the Milwaukee Brewers. But then you find out you are the player to be named later in the Derek Fisher trade. So you're now part of the Toronto Blue Jays organization. How did you find out about the trade?
Yeah, I mean, I had no clue it was coming. I didn't even have a trade in mind. I landed right when I got off my flight with our affiliate with the Brewers. Got a call from our farm director, and he said, "You've been traded. I'm not joking with you. You have been traded." I didn't have the trade details, but he told me it was to the Blue Jays. They'll be in touch. So I stayed in the hotel that night, and then everyone with the Blue Jays got in touch with me, and I got set up to go to Dunedin. I was there for a couple of days, got all my Blue Jays stuff, and then flew out to meet the team in Tri-Cities where our first series was. So it was all pretty crazy. It happened really fast, but I'm glad to be here now.
Were you disappointed at first that the Brewers traded you? But I guess on the other hand, somebody else still wanted you, and that was the Jays. But how did you feel about getting traded?
Yeah, I mean, I like the Brewers. They're the ones who drafted me, gave me opportunity to play, and I was treated very well over there. So really, no complaints on that side. And it was tough leaving all the friends I've made over there, but coming in here it was actually pretty easy. The guys made it a good transition, and I've heard of really good things about their player development here in the Blue Jays. So I'm very excited to be here. It was exciting to um, see the trade details later, and I was the player to be named. It made me feel very wanted that the Blue Jays were looking at me. I'm not sure where they saw me, but it made me feel very, very appreciated, though, for sure.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. I mean, you got drafted by the Brewers, but maybe somebody from the Blue Jays, they were keeping an eye on you and maybe
Hmm.
considering you for perhaps a future move. So I
Yeah.
guess around the time of the draft, how did that all break down for you? Did you expect it was going to be the Brewers to take you, or how did that all work out for you?
Honestly, I thought I was gonna go to the Dodgers a week before the draft. They flew me out to Dodger Stadium, and I threw had a pre-draft workout there, threw a great bullpen in front of all their staff. So that's where I thought I was going. Didn't end up that way, and I had talked to the Brewer scout in my area a few times, and he was one in kind of constant communication with me. So that was also a pretty good option, but it shook out that way, and I wouldn't have changed it.
How did it feel to be, I guess, the highest drafted player coming out of Utah Valley University? I'm sure that had to have been a bit of a thrill for you.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It was awesome. Utah Valley is my hometown. That's where I'm from, and it was awesome just to be able to represent there and keep doing so. Hopefully, be the first player to make it from there. So we'll see.
Now you're from Orem, as you mentioned, and I found out about you that you're an Angels fan, and I guess did that have something to do with the fact that the Orem Owls were an Angels affiliate, your hometown? And I'm sure having the Orem Owls unfortunately leave the community because of the minor league
Yeah.
baseball restructuring. But
Mhm.
I guess your memories of what it was like following the Orem Owls and being an Angels fan.
Yeah. I mean, I think my dad has just been an Angels fan, so that's kind of what I grew up as. But it was definitely awesome. There's the Orem Owls are right there in our hometown. We actually hosted some Owls players when I was younger, so it was cool to see the minor league life and kind of being the host family and seeing what they do every day. It was pretty cool, and um, definitely something I wanted to do. Following those guys' footsteps and definitely keep going with it. So it was definitely awesome. I think it's good for the community as well. Sad to see him go, but it was good while it lasted.
Were there any players you hosted that maybe went on to bigger and better things?
Um, I think the highest guy we had, his name was Joey Crable. I think he made a little stint with the Arizona Diamondbacks, but not sure what he's up to now.
Okay. Okay, speaking of Orem and pitching in your home state, what was that like getting to pitch? Of course, for in your high school days, you pitched at Orem High School, and then
Mhm.
pitching at Utah Valley. So it must have been nice to really enjoy the home cooking for as long as you could.
Yeah, it was nice. It was awesome to be close to home, and through that, my first pro series was actually against the Orem Owls at Orem, so it was fun to be able to come back home as a professional, have a lot of friends and family in the stands, and that was definitely something very cool. And I appreciated that a lot.
Yes, looking back at your series and your first season with the Rocky Mountain Vibes, which was in Colorado Springs and the Brewers affiliate at the time, I noticed two of your best outings came against Utah-based clubs. You mentioned the Orem Owls and also the Ogden Raptors.
Ogden Raptors, yep.
Yeah, what was that like? I know Ogden's not that far away from Orem, so it must have been really nice to be able to pitch in front of 15 fans.
I found out I was throwing, I think it was 4th of July, actually. I was starting that game and had a good turnout come up to Ogden. It's about hour 15 from Orem, so definitely a doable drive. Had a lot of friends and family come up for that, and definitely one of my better outings out there. And it was just awesome to hear, especially at an away game, to hear the fans and then family. It was great.
How would you say your first season went with the Rocky Mountain?
It was good. Definitely a lot of learning for me. Get a taste of pro ball. It was a tough role for me because I went from throwing 7-8 innings every time expected out of me at Utah Valley, and they cut that down because of the workload where I'd only get 2-3 innings per time. And I was like, man, I'm feeling good. I want to go, and it was just to get a taste of it was good though, and I understood the big picture and everything they're trying to do. So it was great though. I really enjoyed it.
Well, 2020, the pandemic hits and no minor league baseball, but you did get to pitch in Australia.
Oh yeah.
How did you manage to, I guess, get through that time, still being able to train and all that? But how were you able to get through that time? And then how was your experience in Australia?
Yeah, my trainer back home, he's a good base. We have probably 5 or 6 minor league baseball guys that train with him. So we just maintained a group throughout the pandemic when things were safe and lockdowns kind of eased up. Utah wasn't hit too hard, so we were lucky there, and we were able to keep our catch play going and then get our workouts in. So just prepared for whatever. We didn't know how long it was going to last, but we just had that mindset. We're just going to keep going, and whenever our time comes, we'll be ready for that. And then one day my pitching coordinator with the Brewers and our farm director gave me a call and said, hey, we have this opportunity that came up. We thought you'd be a great guy, great fit for it. And it's going to go play in Australia. And obviously I thought it'd be something great. They said it's a pretty good level, high A, double A type competition out there. So I was very excited to go out and do that. And when I got there, it was just amazing. Such a great baseball community out there in Australia. The team took very good care of us, and I had such a good time.
Okay, so you get through Australia and things eventually returning back to normal, now playing minor league baseball again. But what's the situation like now pitching in Hillsborough, where you're pitching at a home away from home and not pitching for Vancouver? I don't know if you've even been to Canada yet, but what's that situation been like in Hillsborough for you?
Yeah, I haven't actually been to Canada yet, but all the guys are very sad because they said Vancouver was amazing. The turnout they got every night was unreal, and they're just like so sad that I won't get to experience that, and they're not going to experience that as well. But they've actually treated us pretty well here. We've got a pretty good setup, and just making the most of it. And I think it's kind of fun to have that, what they call it, the Battle of the Borough. Those games are pretty fun and always intense with the team. So it's been good though.
How's it been sharing a home field with the Hillsborough Hawks?
Yeah,
That must be really weird.
It's gonna be weird when we're the home team playing them as the road team. They'll probably have a good turnout of fans, and we'll be the home team. So that's gonna be weird, but it's been good. I think we respect each other enough where things are able to work out.
Talk about your last start against the Hillsborough Hops. That was your best professional outing, 6 shutout innings. What was working for you that day?
Yeah, I felt most everything was. I had my sinker and then slider on point, and then towards the end there, I was really going with the changeup, and I just think I was just keeping guys off balance, being able to execute all pitches and really have a good day. Yeah.
I also noticed you had to make 3 putouts at first base, so that's where the pitcher's fielding practice comes in handy.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I thought I made a good play earlier in the game where a guy had kind of a swinging bunt and he just beat it out. I was bummed I didn't get that, but yeah, I was able to fill my position pretty well and get over when I was needed.
And you wound up picking him off anyway, so it all worked out.
Yeah, it did work out, so we're all right.
Describe yourself as a pitcher. How would you? Is there anyone maybe you compare yourself to in the majors, or anyone style you like to emulate?
Uh, I mean, I'm always watching, especially like going with the Brewers. I was always watching Brandon Woodruff. I mean, we're not the exact same guy, but I just liked how his demeanor was and his style. You know, we were drafted around the same time, so it was always cool to see um, guys that could make it there. And I was always just watching how he handled himself, and I appreciated that. But I mean, I feel like I have 4 pitches, can throw them well for strikes, and just keep. I think if I keep plugging, I definitely have a chance to get there.
Talk about your pitch repertoire. You say 4 pitches, sinker, slider. What else do you throw?
Yeah, I have a four seam and then the sinker and then slider changeup. Biggest thing with that, I try to go four seam and play the slider off of that, kind of tunnel those 2 pitches, and then the sinker and changeup tunnel those pitches off of each other. I feel like I've had a lot of success, and this is probably the best I've ever felt with my mix for sure.
How did you develop the slider? Did anyone teach you, or is that something you just learned by yourself?
Yeah, in it was my sophomore year of college. I was doing really well. I find myself getting ahead of guys. I was getting 1-2, 0-2 counts, and I only had a curveball, and I felt like I was making mistakes, and guys were hitting the curveball, and it wasn't as good. And so I started watching video on guys throwing sliders, and I kind of just started playing catch with it. Kind of taught myself, watched videos of guys doing it, and that's where I developed the slider. And that's really what I think was a big game changer for me. I was able to throw it harder, had better movement than the curveball, and that's when I stopped throwing that curveball because the slider was a lot better, and I was getting a lot of strikeouts on that pitch.
One thing that I read about you, your coach at Utah Valley saying your mound presence, that you have that really helps you out in the mound. What does mound presence mean to you?
Yeah, I'd just say staying cool, calm, and collected out there, not letting whatever happens. Honestly, after I throw the ball, there's a very few things I can control. If the ball's hit back to me, if I'm covering first, those I can control. But if my teammate makes an error or the ball gets hit, whatever, I just got to stay cool and even keel out there, because I mean, it does no point. You'll see guys get frustrated, arguing with the umpires, and in the end, it's not going to change the call. It's not going to reverse the play that happened out there. And I think it's just controlling what I can and and staying collected out there is really big for me.
How have you found it pitching in Hillsborough so far? I mean, it's a plastic field except for the dirt around home plate. But
Mm-hmm.
how's it been pitching on the mound over there?
It's been good. I like how they have the dirt mound, which is good. I'm glad it's not turf. I don't like really throwing on turf mounds. It's just not the same feel. So I'm glad. But yeah, the ball kind of spins different here. There's a playing Spokane, a guy dropped a bunt down, popped it up, and when it hit the turf, it back spun like crazy on me, and I kind of fumbled it, and I hadn't experienced anything like that. So it's just definitely been good to get some PFPs going on the field, get the spin for the turf and all that. But other than that, it's been good, and I feel like we've been welcomed pretty openly here.
I noticed the last 2 starts you've been working with Ryan Gold behind the plate. What's it been like
Mhm.
getting him for the last 2 starts?
Yeah, it's been good. I think we had a good connection and we're on the same page. There's been rarely any times I had to shake him. I felt like we've been pretty consistent in the game plan. We talked beforehand, and it's kind of nice going last on that Sunday start. I see what they do pretty much throughout the week, and we have a good plan of attack going into it. So it's been good.
What's it been like going through these 6 game series so far? I mean, usually it's been what, 3 or maybe 4 games in the past.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
what's that adjustment been like?
Yeah, it's just it's definitely different. That's for sure. It's a little tough going 6 games in a row against the same team. That's kind of kind of unheard of in a typical minor league season, minor league schedule. But and especially with only 6 teams out here, we're gonna get the same feel for a lot of guys. We'll face them a lot, and I think it can either be a good thing or a bad thing, just depending how you prep and go about things.
Talk about your preparation now that you're in the starting rotation. What's it like for you gearing up and getting ready for your start? Because your next start is coming up on Sunday. What's that preparation? What's that entail?
Yeah, so I'd say the biggest thing that I've really liked about the Blue Jays, they have a great in between start kind of prep and schedule. They're very into the player development and making sure we're doing the things we need to be ready, and I've really enjoyed that. But after it's been nice because the day after I throw, I'll have an off day, Then I'll play some light catch on Tuesday, get a lift in. Wednesday, same thing, and then Thursday go bullpen. Today's my day where I'll get another lift in, catch play, and then just be fresh for Saturday, and then be ready to go Sunday. So I've really liked it.
I know something else that's come up with you is mental preparation and how key that is for you. What does that entail, your mental preparation?
Definitely just looking. I like looking at the scouting reports and seeing what type of hitters, and then I think it just goes back to the start of the series, just watching guys in the dugout when I'm taking notes in the dugout, seeing what guys are doing, and just really kind of visualizing what I'm going to do, how I'm going to approach hitters, and the night before, really just thinking what I want to do to execute against them.
Now, looking ahead to the 2021 season, what is it that you're trying to work on? What are you trying to improve on as the year goes along?
Yeah, my biggest thing is just staying consistent with my stuff. Don't try to change too much or do whatever. I honestly think I have a good approach and a good plan building up, and I just want to stick to that. Whether that be I've seen some guys get called up to Double A already, and that would be incredible. But just keep being consistent with my stuff. I don't want to get away from what I'm doing.
Well, it seems the team is really clicking on all cylinders now. A bit of a tough start the first few games in Tri-City, but since that point,
Yeah.
you guys are really playing well. What's been the key to the team's success so far?
Yeah, I mean, as being a newcomer, I don't even feel that way anymore. I felt like the group's pretty close. Every guy is welcoming for me coming in, but I think we have a pretty good dynamic where guys are honest and open with each other, but uh, we all have that same goal of wanting to win, where we want the team to be successful over ourselves. And when we do that, we all end up being successful in the end.
How's it been working with your pitching coach, Phil Condary? How things been going on that front?
Oh, great! Phil's a great guy. He does whatever we need to be ready, and he's been solid for us, and I appreciate all he's done.
One thing I want to ask you about is the new rules that they're undergoing in minor league baseball. That now pitchers have to step off the rubber before throwing over the first. How's that been for you adjusting like that? I mean, you did pick off a runner already, but I mean,
Yeah,
it's got to make it pretty tough, though.
it does. It does make it tough, that's for sure. And we've just seen it this year. Stolen bases are up, and guys are getting monster leads over it at first, and it is tough because makes you feel, especially where I feel like walks can hurt you a little more if you walk the wrong guy, and he's a speedster and he gets the second automatically. Like, that's tough, and that's your run. So I mean, we've put a lot of emphasis on holds and stepping off and picking and just doing things we can to limit those, because in the end it's our run and we don't want that to get in. So it's definitely been an adjustment, and in the end I hope the major leagues do not adopt it.
Well, we'll see if that does turn out to be the case. Especially if we move up to Double A. If things go well enough, then you wouldn't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I came across a TV interview with you during your time with Rocky Mountain, and the female reporter there was trying to learn how to throw a slider and all that.
That's right. Yes, I remember that.
Actually, and she started to get the hang of it there at the end. Is maybe being a pitching coach something you might consider down the line?
Yeah, I definitely have to think about it. In the off season, I do lessons. I teach with the younger kids or high school age kids. So I enjoy working with it and spreading what I've learned throughout my years. And I think it could be an option for sure.
All right, Paxton, my final question for you. During that same interview, you mentioned you're an Angels fan, and when the lady asked you about the slider, you mentioned Noah Syndergaard. He pitched for the Vancouver Canadians back in 2011. What is it that you like about Noah Syndergaard?
Oh, I mean, just watching his stuff is unreal. Always see him on Pitching Ninja and stuff, and seeing how hard he throws, of course, but his slider's hard and has nasty movement as well. So it's always just fun seeing a guy like that who can really just dominate, really. So it's awesome just to follow him and watch him play.
All right, I'll ask one more question, and it's just about the Angels. Being able to follow a team that has Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. I know they're not off to the best of starts this year, but still exciting times for the Angels when you can at least root for a couple of players like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I would say I kind of buy in where I'm at. I buy in. I was all Brewers. I was watching the Brew Crew when I was over there, and now I'm with the Blue Jays. So it's been fun to really just get invested in these teams and feel the connection. It just being when spring training was kind of normal. It's fun being and seeing those big league guys, see how they work, and I'm excited to do that with the Blue Jays and see how guys are successful and what goes into them being able to be in the position they are. So looking forward to that.
All right, fair enough. Paxton, I've taken up a lot of your time already, but thanks so
No
much for this.
worries.
All the best to you, sir, and hopefully we'll see you with the Blue Jays one day, and you may become the second
Yes,
Schultz
sir.
to be a member of the Blue Jays. Bo Schultz pitching for the team a few years ago. So yeah, hopefully we'll see another Schultz nameplate in a Toronto
Awesome.
uniform soon enough.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.